everyone, I'm Antoine Mikhtarian and today it's story time. Yes indeed, I'm going to tell you, the evolution of my taste in music during the years, since I was a little kid, to now that I'm a grown man, still young, but a grown man. I have a goatee, so I'm an adult. So yeah, stick around for that. When I was a kid, so basically when I was less than 10 years old, I used to listen to my parents' music. So for my dad, that meant Deep Purple, Rainbow, Scorpions, all those classic rock bands. And for my mom, even though she was into classic rock too, she liked also 80s disco and 80s French music, and even older than 80s, because I remember she had Edith Piaf compilation CD that she really liked, and because it was a live CD, it started with someone presenting Edith Piaf, and it was like Edith Piaf, and a lot of clap, 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 and then the CD started.
Edith Piaf.
So Edith Piaf. Yeah. At the same time, I was also listening to more modern stuff from that time, which was Mika, basically the album Cartoon Motion with Grace Kelly and all the stuff. Take it easy, for there is something we can relax. Or something like that. And also my parents gave me a CD of old theme songs like Magnum P.I., MacGyver and all those sort of stuff, Benny Hill. And I used to really listen to it on my Walkman when we had a lot of driving to do when going on vacation. So that was my favorite CD. And even though I was living in Madrid, so in Spain, I had a friend of mine who was kind of in between France and Spain, who usually brought me compilations and French music. So I was into an artist called Camaro. So Camaro. If you don't know, Camaro is basically like putting words onto some white noise, because he didn't have any voice. It was like, not a lot of voice, but it was a huge thing in France back in the day. When I was about 10 to 11 years old, I had a very small teenage crisis. Well, you know how it is. And I listened to rap music. I was into skateboarding and all those sort of stuff. I was wearing sweatshirts that were twice my size. You have the picture. And I was basically listening to 50 Cent all the time. And only 3 songs like In the Club, Many Men, and Candy Shop. So yeah, but that was a very small period of time. So really don't judge me on that. But when everything seemed lost, I discovered Metallica and AC/DC with the albums Death Magnetic and Black Ice. We could argue they are not the best albums and they are close to being the worst albums of those bands, but come on, I was listening to 50 Cent. So yeah, I discovered that and came back to my dad's records. So I started listening to Deep Purple and Rainbow and Scorpions and said, okay, this is good. And I was also starting playing guitar, so it all made sense. At 16 years old, I was, still listening to Metallica and AC/DC, and I was listening to better albums from them, so High Voltage, Back in Black for AC/DC, and Ride the Lightning for Metallica. But I had a sort of punk rockish type of period of time, and I started listening to My Chemical Romance, to Fall Out Boy, to Rise Against, because I wanted to rise against the system, anarchist and all that sort of stuff. I was 16. You get the picture too. Okay, so I'm now 18 years old. I've been playing guitar for 7 years. I have my own band in which I play lead guitar and I sing. So, my ego is pretty big. I take myself super seriously. And for that, I listen to serious stuff. So I listen to Dream Theater, I listen to Opeth, and also I listen to classical music because, complex stuff. It's intellectual music, you wouldn't get it. Yeah, I was like that back then, but it didn't last for long. And also, yeah, I got into Dream Theater with the album Dream Theater from 2013. So not the best album either. I think it's kind of the usual thing. I get into the bands with the modern stuff, the new stuff they're doing, and then work my way back in time and discover they did better things. But very soon after I met my wife, Lisa, well, she wasn't my wife back then, but she was meant to be. And she helped with calming my ego and growing up and being a little bit more mature. And also she influenced me with her musical tastes. So she was into power metal, mainly Sabaton and Tuer. So I started listening to those bands at first to seduce her and say, I'm also into Sabaton and Tuer. We have so much in common. And then, well, I kept listening to those bands because they are great. And at the same time too, so what a life-changing time, I met Sofian Alkurdi, who was my guitar teacher at that time, who basically introduced me to Freak Kitchen, Matthias Eklund, Bumblefoot, Key Colorado, well, all those artists and bands who have a very big influence in me now, well, in my music and what I do now. So that was the big change for me. And basically, even though I still listen to classic rock and classic music and a little bit of those things that I used to listen back in the day, I'm mainly listening to what Lisa and Sofian made me discover. I'm pretty much in the same time or period as I was back when I discovered those bands. So I'm sticking with them because it resonates truly with me. I also came back to my mom's 80s disco, so yeah, I listen to that too. And I really like it. I mean, I like to dance along Donna Summer and Bonnie Tyler. Well, it's fun. And I also get to make metal covers, so yeah, it's a win-win. And that being said, that's my musical journey in terms of taste and what I listen to. Really, it's just a matter of curiosity and being open-minded. So yeah, share the music you like with anybody, and maybe you will make them realize that 50 Cent is not for them. So yeah, thank you very, very much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, please like the video. Share in the comments if you have any anecdote, funny anecdote about your taste in music. I would be super interested to chit chat with all of you. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And I've been Antoine Mikhtarian, and I will see you very, very soon in the next video, of course. Ciao, ciao!